Good evening, everybody. Um, this is about the third time I've recorded this video, and I am going to try to keep it short because both times I have made about an hour and a half uh, video, and I just can't seem to get it short, but I know how to do it now, and that's what I'm going to do. So, going to kind of go over um, the week in trading. Okay. Um, I started the week trading 150K Tradeify straight to funded accounts. These accounts come with $7,500 in drawdown, which as of midnight on the 20th changed. If you buy one now, you only get $6,000 in drawdown, um, which is why I purchased the second one Friday morning, um, because it's not a retroactive change. Anything purchased before midnight on Friday um, gets the 7,500 and keeps it. So I bought the second account Friday morning and copy traded in the New York session, both of those accounts. But up until Friday New York session, I only had one account, and that's what I was trading. All right. So um, I'll just pull it up again real quick because I did have it. I did post it in the Discord. It was a very up and down week for me. Um, as you can see, it looks like a Christmas ribbon with the green and red. Um, and I hit these two red days. Both of these days, I hit my max daily loss limit. It was actually locked out of my accounts for the rest of the day. um, but we did end up ending the week with $7,300 in profit. So I'm happy with the week. I'm happy with the results. I'm not quite happy with the process. Looking back through these days, I was impatient. I was oversizing. I should have actually made money both of these days, and this should be somewhere closer to $10,000. Um, so yeah, that's that. Um, but I'm okay with it. I learned my lessons, and we will do our best not to do that again. So, um, where are we at the moment at the end of the week? We're in a kind of a screwed up position. Okay. Of course, we have this big fair value gap on the flush. Then we came down, took out some 4 hour swing points for liquidity, and then we pushed back up and made this bullish fair value gap. And we now closed pretty much right in between the two of them. Not quite. We're still inside this one, but we don't have a whole lot of room here. Okay. Between these fair value gaps, we're looking at 33 points. um, so something has got to give, or else we just sit here and consolidate at the beginning of next week, which very well might happen. Um, or we invert one way or the other. We'll have to see. Um, we did come down and hit the swing point, um, which I measured from here. Um, no, I did not. Duh. I measured from here. We broke internal structure. We came down and actually broke swing structure, and went up and broke structure to the top side. So this was our last break of structure. We take the low point between this high and the break of structure, and we have our high point up here. Um, the reason I am not counting this as the bottom of the swing is that we broke internal structure up here, but we never came down and broke external structure. Okay. Um, so that is just a pullback that we ended up taking off with, right? Um, and that was a pullback right to the 7.9. Well, it wasn't the 7.9 on this displacement. Um, on that displacement, that was a pullback. Okay, right to the 7.0, and then a reversal, a sweep of the low to then go higher. Um, so yeah, um, we then made another high, another swing high, still in the same swing low, uh, and then we pulled back again between the 6.2 and the 7.0. We closed right at both of those candles. You know, couldn't close below. I don't think they closed below. Yeah, they did, just by a tick or two. They held the 4-hour swing point, uh, and the 6.2, and we reversed and headed back up. Um, we still haven't quite gotten to the 50% mark of this fair value gap to see what's going to happen there. And we created this. So we're kind of uh, in la la land. The only thing I would say that this gives a little bit more support to is we do have inverted uh, bear fair value gap on the 4-hour right here, and we made this bullish to that. So, you know, it is possible we come down and retest that invert uh, right there. It's purple, um, and then bounce again. Usually, when we bounce off the 6.2 or 7.0 and get above the 50%, we usually do come back and retest that 50% level. Um, and that would be a good area for it to bounce off of. Inverted bearish, complete, or a made bullish. Um, so we'll just have to see what happens. This isn't a position I like to trade in, uh, where we're stuck in between opposite sided fair value gaps on the 4-hour. There may still be some strong movement on the lower time frames, some shorter trends that we can catch and trade. I'm just going to be very cautious. I'm not going to be entering with more than 2 micro contracts on my trades, risking, a maximum of $200 on those trades, which is 50 points. Um, I'll try to keep my stop losses around 20 points, risking, you know, about 80 to $100, um, and see what we can get next week, unless this, just really keeps up the volatility and we just slam through to go lower, or we get up to the 50% and see the reversal. Um, who knows? I do have to remark my 4-hour swing point lines. That's basically what has happened on the 4-hour. And my 4-hour chart, I just keep really, really skinny because it is just for an overview. I don't need a lot. No, don't need to see a lot there um, to know what's going on. Okay. Um, on my charts, I have the True Trader pivot points. Those are now going to stay on my charts. I really like having them up with the way I trade right now. Um, if I'm in a trade and we're in between time-based liquidity, these pivot points are support and resistance, and they give me good places to add into my trades. Um, when we break through those levels and hold them on the way up to larger time frame uh, liquidity levels. So I'm going to leave those up. You can't get these. It's not a free indicator. Um, but every day, if you want to use them, I will squeeze this down and get all of the levels uh, on a chart, take a screenshot, and post it. It gives you the price and it tells you what they are. We have dailies, weeklies, monthlies, and quarterlies. Um, previous low and previous high, you can mark on your own just by looking at the daily chart. That's just previous day low, previous day high, um, and the previous close and the current open. You can mark those again on your own if you want, or just take them off this chart. That's fine. But I will post this in case anybody wants to see it. These solid green uh, markers are the 4-hour swing points. These neon green price levels, they are 4-hour swing points that I have marked. Um, and well, I've got it squeezed down so far you can't see them on the chart till I open it back up. But yeah, that's what those are. Okay. Um, and some of them stack right around the pivot points as well. So, you can take all of these levels, mark them on your chart if you want to use them uh, along with me. Um, I love them. I'm going to keep them. And we'll go from there. Now, we all know what happened this week. What I want to show, you know, is Friday's trade. I always go back and I look at every day and I see, where was the best trade of the day? If I caught it, great. If I didn't, I want to know why, so that next time, when that setup comes, because it usually involves one of my setups uh, that I should be trading. So I want to know why I missed it, and or if I did catch it, I want to see if how I could have managed it better to get more profits. Now I've been reaching um, into the thousand. I've been anywhere from 1,000 to $5,000 profit on my green days. I've hit max loss limit, which I think is 3,500 2 days in the week. Uh, so, but I've got to watch how much profit I make. When I show you this trade Thursday from the New York pre-market through, or Friday through the New York pre-market through to Friday afternoon. Obviously, I couldn't take this trade and trade it the way I wanted to because it would have made way too much money, would have blown my consistency rule way out of whack. I literally would have to make like $100,000 in the account um, before I could qualify for a payout if I had taken the trade and traded it the way uh, you could have. But um, I like looking at these in hindsight so that when they happen in live market, and if once I'm in a live account, I can trade like this and make those really big profitable days. This trade would have literally ended up to be about a $23,000 trade. Um, and it really never told you to get out of the trade. Okay. So I made profits from this daily pivot point when we broke through, retested, and held down to this 4 hour swing point. Okay. Um, that's where I made the biggest portion of my money um, in the overnight. Then I went to bed around between 6 and 6:30 right here. Um, when the New York Open came, we immediately swept the London low, which is right here. And if I had been awake, I would have taken a trade right here on the first inverted fair value gap. It would have been a stop out. Um, this is my A plus setup, a sweep of uh, time-based session liquidity like the London low or the Asian low, um, or whatever, and a reversal. So I would be entering this trade with 10 contracts, 10 micros, um, and that would have been about a $360, $400 stop loss. Okay. I'm okay with that. Um, I then would have been able to enter the trade right up here, and my 20-point stop loss would be right here. And with 10 micros, I'm risking uh, about $400 there. But that would have been entering pretty much at the low of day, and we never stopped. Okay. I would have been able to add to this trade 3 times with 10 micros each add. And when I add to my trade, as soon as it starts heading back in my direction, as soon as I add to the trade, I move my stop loss. I don't want to lose more than $200 to $400 on any given trade. So if I'm entering with 10 micros, I move my stop loss up to the $400 mark, wherever that may be. I don't use structure. Once I add to a trade, I do not use price structure for my stop loss. If it comes out and stops me out at $400 and then sweeps structure and goes back for continuation of the trade I would have been in, I will re-enter that trade again. Okay. This is why my win rate is only 40% because I do take these losses, but I'm okay with it because I can take a couple of $400 stop outs before the move actually moves enough to where I no longer have to worry about the stop out when I add to the trade. And those trades are going to end up being $2,000, $3,000 trades. Okay. So I'm okay with taking a couple of those small losses to begin with. I actually would have ended up having the opportunity to add 3 times on this trade. Um, and eventually my target became the previous high of day. And if I closed the trade there, it would have been about a $23,000 trade. Okay. What I did do is we pushed up here. We came down and retested this. When I got that wick and the close back above the midnight open and the daily pivot point, um, I went long right there. Now, aggressive trade, but I had a very tight stop loss. Okay. Um, I was trading from 65 to 45, 20-point stop loss on 2 micros. I'm only risking $80 on this trade, and I'm already up a couple thousand from the overnight. Okay. So I took this trade, and all I was looking for, because what I saw was, a spike above, which could have been a manipulation move to go down, but then we had, it swept lows, never broke this low, and then we came up, hit, pulled back, went back above, swept that low, Now, this should have been another manipulation move to actually reverse if it was going to reverse. But when we hit this level, it couldn't even break through it, closed back above. I took that as strength in the market uh, and went long here just to try to get a quick scalp, 3 or 4 minute trade up to the previous daily low. Took that trade off. Okay. The next trade, because then I left the truck, went and walked the dogs, got some drinks, all that stuff. I missed this push through. If didn't have things to do, I could have held that trade and caught this push up, and probably would have been done for the day there based on my consistency rule of the profit I had already made on the day. Um, we ended up here in this consolidation. We had what could have been a manipulation move above range. We came back down into range. We did not break any lows. And then we pushed up and we had this bullish engulfing candle that closed at its high. Okay. Um, there's maybe one tick worth of wick on the top of this candle. Now that candle closes above all the bodies of these other candles in this range and closes at its high, no pullback. This could have been a retest of the manipulation move to reverse. That is actually what I was expecting. I was expecting the reverse. We had been below the midnight open since the Asian session, and we just broke above the midnight open, and this daily has started consolidating. I was looking for the manipulation move to go short. This didn't convince me. And then I saw strength in the market, and I am so proud of myself because I was looking for the short. I was looking for the reversal at this point. But as soon as I saw that candle, I said, that's strength. Literally said it out loud. David was in live with me in the channel, and the words that came out of my mouth was, that's strength. I'm long. And I clicked the buy button on 2 contracts right here. We got up to this pivot point, uh, broke below, couldn't break this low on the next few candles, came back up, and then we jumped off of that level again with another strong candle. I added to the trade right here, looking for the previous day's high. We got up here and we started consolidating, and I just didn't want it to not quite reach it and fall over. Because again, I'm looking for the reversal at any time. We've already moved, like 700 something points at this point. Um, so, or shoot, even maybe a little less than that, but we were already in a huge move for the day. Um, so I certainly expected the reversal here. I wasn't going to take the chance of it flushing quickly on me. I went and closed the trade for about $750 profit up here. I entered with 2 micros, I added 2 micros, and I ended with a $750 trade. That was the last trade of the day. Okay. It did go higher, but I I was done for the day. I was right at or a little over $4,000 on one of my accounts, and I was a little over or right at $2,000 with my second Tradeify account that I opened this morning or Friday morning and started copy trading Friday morning. So that was my day. Uh, that was my trading day. Now, again, this was beautiful. Would have been a beautiful setup in the New York pre-market when we swept the London low, caught the reversal, entered pretty much at low of day, and then had, an 800 or what was it, 700? I think it was a 700 point move, somewhere around there, with 3 ads. Enter right around there. Previous days, yeah, 650 points. Um, a little touch. Well, I got out of the consolidation, so yeah, right at about 650 points is what you could have caught on this day. Okay. Yes, you would have held through the 8:30 news. You would have held through the 9:30 open, but you absolutely, uh, nothing ever told me to get out of this trade all the way up. Nothing until I closed it at my target. Uh, those are the kind of trades, that I want to be catching once I'm in a live account and I don't have a consistency rule anymore. Um, because that literally would have been about a $23,000 trade. Uh, just freaking amazing. Um, so I think I already went through that and said that, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's what happened this week. That's what's going on with me. I am working through the holidays, so I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Enjoy time with your friends and family. Uh, I will not be trading my funded accounts next week, as it is Christmas week. There's going to be probably low liquidity, and I don't want to take the risk of really fast, really big moves. Um, I'll be on the charts, but if I do trade, it'll be in a practice account. I'm probably going to take 2 weeks off, um, or at least a week and a half, since Christmas is midweek. Then a week after that is New Year's for 6 days. Um, so yeah, I'll probably be taking at least a week and a half to 2 weeks off from trading my funded accounts through this last 2 weeks of the year and through the new year. Um, and then we'll pick trading back up uh, after the new year because we do have some pretty big news coming at the beginning of January. Um, I looked at the calendar, can't really exactly remember what it was, but I know we have some nice red folder news coming out after the first of the year. Um, and we'll get back in trading our funded accounts. I think I mentioned it, but I did open a personal brokerage account through Tradeovate. Um, I only have $300 in it, so I can only trade up to 3 micros, because the day trading margin on a micro with Tradeovate is $100. I will be trading that account, but I will only be trading 1 micro at a time until I get to deposit more money in, and make some profits on it. Uh, I just, I'm not going to take any money out of my funded prop accounts to do this right now. Uh, that will be in the near future. Um, but right now, I just want to grow my personal brokerage account with my paychecks. Any extra money I have left over at the end of the week, um, I'm going to be putting into that personal brokerage account and growing it, even if it's just a couple $100 at a time. I'm perfectly happy with that. I have run into a small snag with getting out of the truck in February, and this has to do with back taxes. Um, in May, I got the notification from the tax relief company that I'm working with. Um, just let you guys know. I mean, it's personal information, but I really don't care. I'll share it just so you know what's going on. Optima Tax Relief is now representing me with the IRS. Um, they are going to be charging me about $30,000 for the services. And then about a year from now is when they expect to have the settlement completed with the IRS, at which point I will probably owe the IRS a few $1,000s. I'm hoping that it turns out to be about get a settlement for about 10% of what I owe them, uh, or less. And if that happens, I will owe them some money as well. Uh, so if I were to take out the $30,000 from my funded prop accounts, which I would still need to trade for a while, uh, and get to the point where Apex would allow me to take out whatever I want, and I think that's 30 profitable days uh, of trading. I'm not sure. Uh, I could take out half of that account and pay Optima Tax Relief their fees uh, and leave the truck and always come back to the truck if I need to when the settlement comes in with the IRS. But really, what I would like to do is have enough uh, in my accounts to pay Optima Tax Relief and have enough in a savings account so that when they come back with the settlement, I can either pay it in full or pay the majority of it and have small payments for whatever amount of time to finish cleaning that up. So I will not be getting out of the truck in February. In the beginning, I was devastated, but only for a very short amount of time. Uh, what I have been able to do in trading, even being in this job, which I am about this close to being able to describe it as utterly despising, um, I still make really good money here. So if I use this plan, stay in the truck for another 6 months, maybe even another year, God help me if I do. Um, you know, it's not even going to be another year because I'm not going to be driving through. I'll drive through this winter, I have to, but I will not be driving through the next winter. Spring and summer months, I make a lot of money in this job, and it could go a really long way to growing my personal brokerage account, which in turn could go a really long way to me making the money to where I don't have to worry about the settlement for the IRS. I know I will have the money to pay the settlement in full when it comes back to me. So that is probably the worst news of the year I got, um, especially being this close to my birthday. But, you know, God is in control, and maybe it just wasn't my time to leave the truck. Um, maybe he wants me to be set up a little bit better before I actually leave. Set up pretty good, but not now that I have some back tax issues. Uh, I'm not set up as good as I thought. So we're going to get those tax issues taken care of, or at least have the money from trading in a save. We'll have taken the money out of my prop accounts through payouts and set into a savings account so that I know I've got enough to cover both the 30,000 for the tax relief company and lawyers and enough to cover the settlement for the IRS. So maybe more information than y'all needed, but I wanted y'all to know why come February, when I've been saying this whole time that I'm out of this business in February, that I'm still driving a truck. Don't be stupid, pay your taxes. That's all I can say. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Um, Overpay your taxes. If you're self-employed, overpay your taxes because you never know what the IRS is gonna do. Um, Maybe I was just talking too much on my phone about God, guns, and country, and the IRS decided to target me because I'm a MAGA Republican. So, yeah, I just want to let everybody know I will be in the truck for a few more months past what I expect it to be, and that's okay by me. I've come to terms with it, and it is beneficial. Um, Even though I've got to pay these things off, um, it's still beneficial with the money I'm making in trading on top of what I'm making driving the truck. Um, I'm getting myself into an extremely good position for retirement in a much shorter time frame than I ever expected before I became profitable in trading. So, with that, I will say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope everyone enjoys the time with their family and friends. I think I already said that. I'm not sure. This is the third time I'm recording this video. Um, but I'm working through the holidays. Uh, will not be trading through the holidays. I know I already said that. So enjoy everyone, and I will be on the charts. I will be on live. I will be posting um, all of that. I'm just not going to trade my funded accounts through this holiday period. I learned that trading evals last holiday season, and it didn't work out very well. So I'm just not going to take that chance with my funded accounts this year. Um, so yeah, I'm going to go watch some TV now, maybe a couple movies, and then go to bed and get up tomorrow and go grab my load. It's been a really nice, almost a full week off um, here in Florida at my mother's, with 4 days, I think it is. Um, I really enjoyed it. Love visiting with my mother. Got her Christmas gift today. It got delivered to her apartment, um, and she won't get it until Christmas because a friend of hers went and picked it up out of the apartment's office. She is in another location, another family's house, dog sitting their dogs, but she said she's going to head back over to the apartment on Christmas and uh, pick up her present and then head back over to the dog sitting. Um, so that's pretty cool. Uh, that's it. I got nothing else. I'd love to see the volatility come back in the market. I do want to say that. Um, you know, a lot of people don't like these big 1 minute candles that can move 30, 40, 50 points. But if you size down on your trades and open up your stop losses to acceptable levels, you can still trade uh, and add on to your winners and still make really good profits because that's what I did most of the week was just trading micros and adding to my winners. And we ended the week up $7,300. Uh, so good first week in my Tradeify accounts. Uh, really looking forward to getting these up to payout level and start these accounts. I will be taking payouts from. because they are a newer company. I know they're going to run into issues somewhere along the line, like every company does. I do believe that Brett has set himself up for success, and that when they run into those issues, they won't last very long and they will continue on. But um, being a newer company, I've got faith that Apex and Top Step are going to be around for a long time. This being a new company, just a few months old, you know, there's a risk there. So I will be taking payouts from these Tradeify accounts once they qualify and I get them to the levels that I want, um, and try to get moved into a live account with $15,000 in each of my funded accounts, sim funded accounts, taking profits anything above 15,000 once I start qualifying for payouts. I will pull my payouts out to bring both accounts down to the $15,000 mark. That's all they will move into my live account after my third payout. Um, so if I have two accounts and on my third payout, I draw both of them down to $15,000, I get moved into a live account with $30,000. Okay. That's the goal. Anything above 15,000 in each account, I will be pulling out and putting into my personal brokerage account. Uh, it's starting to get a little difficult to keep track of all these accounts, uh, but we'll manage. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the holidays. I will see and talk to everyone uh, later. I'm sure everyone's going to be enjoying the holidays, so probably won't get a whole lot of Discord activity until the holiday is over. And with that, adios.